You ever notice how nobody talks about Michael Jordan's 1993 playoff run? They'll mention 91 when he finally broke through, or 1992 when he crushed Clyde and had that game with all those three-pointers. They will never shut up about 96 with 72 wins, Rodman, and that picture-perfect redemption arc. But 1993? That might be the most impressive, grittiest, and mentally demanding run of his entire career. And yet, it barely gets mentioned. Let's change that. Before we dive in all the way, quick heads up. I've had to switch up my video format a little bit for this channel. Between work, family, and managing another YouTube channel on the NBA and current news, time is tight. So this is the new podcast format for this channel. No fancy edits for now, maybe here and there. But what you will get is real NBA history, deep dives, and the truth about legends like MJ that a lot of people either forget or purposefully overlook. If you've been subscribed, I truly appreciate you for sticking around. This new format lets me stay consistent with content. And if you're new here, you just stumbled into the GOAT corner of YouTube. Welcome. Now let's get into it. Let's set the scene. In 1993, Michael Jordan is 30 years old and his 9th season and coming off 2 straight championships. He's already proven everything you could ask for in terms of legacy. But here's the twist. He's tired. Not just in the we've played a lot of basketball way tired. I'm talking mentally drained. The media was after him. Non-stop rumors about gambling, headlines questioning his character, debates about his competitiveness turning into personal attacks. And remember, this was the early 90s. There was no Instagram Live or podcast clips to defend yourself. No control over your own narrative. If a reporter wanted to run with a twisted story, they ran with it. And Michael, he had to sit there, smile, and pretend it didn't bother him, even when it did. Now, players can come back at anybody, anytime, and they still complain about media talking about them. Meanwhile, quietly, things were going on behind the scenes. His father, James Jordan, was reportedly receiving threats. MJ later admitted that before the playoffs even started, he was already mentally checked out. He'd done what he needed to do. But what separates legends from mortals is this. He still showed up. He didn't coast. He didn't quit. He laced up, walked into the storm, and dominated. Let's talk about the playoff path. First round, the Atlanta Hawks. Handled 3-0 sweep. Barely worth mentioning. That's how locked in the Bulls were, even on fumes. Then came Cleveland. Now, don't laugh. This wasn't the losing to LeBron Cavs. This was a tough, veteran group with physical defenders and playoff experience. Brad Daugherty, Larry Nance, Mark Price. These weren't scrubs. And what does MJ do in the closeout game? He drops 31 points in Game 4, including crucial late-game buckets in a game the Bulls won by just 2 points. That's what killers do. Even when it's close, even when it's ugly, they close the door. Now here is where it gets brutal. Eastern Conference Finals, the New York Knicks, coached by Pat Riley, fueled by violence. My favorite team. Oakley, Starks, Mason, Ewing, Derek Harper. This wasn't basketball. This was war in shorts. They went up 2-0 over Chicago. The Garden was loud. People were already writing the MJ is done stories. The Knicks were convinced this was their year. And what happens next? Jordan takes it personal. The Bulls win 4 straight games. MJ drops 54 points in Game 4, but it wasn't just scoring. It was defense, leadership, body language, tempo. He flipped the switch and reminded New York that they were still his sons. To this day, Knicks fans are still salty about that series. And rightfully so. He ripped our hearts out. Then came the finals. Phoenix Suns, coached by Paul Westphal, led by the newly crowned MVP Charles Barkley. A 62-win team, best record in the league, home court advantage. Everyone had Phoenix as their favorites. Chicago had just been through a war with the Knicks and were running on empty. But again, Jordan shows up. Here is what he did in that series, and this is amazing. Game 1, 31 points, Bulls steal 1 on the road. Game 2, 42 points. Game 3, 44 points in a triple overtime loss. And he played 55 minutes. Game 4, 55 points. Game 5, 41 points. Game 6, 33 points, and the most selfless play of the series. Because instead of forcing a contested shot to win it, he passed to Pippen, who passed to Horace Grant, who kicked it to John Paxson, wide open for the game-winning 3. That's leadership, that's trust in his teammates, that's championship basketball. He didn't need to be the hero on every single play, and that's what made him the ultimate winner. And his final numbers? 41 points per game over 6 finals games. Let me say that again, 41 points per game average. To this day, still the highest scoring average in any final series. And nobody really came close. So why is it so forgotten? Because there is no viral moment. No flu game, no final shot over Elo, no shrug after hitting 6 threes, no one image that captures the run. It was just straight up destruction, surgical, efficient, cold-blooded, and sometimes that's less memorable to the casual fan. And then, right after the title, MJ shocked the world. He walked away, retired from basketball. So the media circus around his retirement overshadowed just by how incredible this run was. He'd emptied the tank completely, mentally and physically, and he went out on top. This wasn't high-flying MJ from '88 dunk contests. This wasn't, Nike commercial smiling MJ. This was burned out, under siege, pissed off MJ. And he still ran through the best league had to offer. Think about it. Back-to-back championships. 3 straight finals MVPs. In his final run before retiring, he averaged over 41 points a night on 50% shooting against the league MVP. Who else has done that? Nobody. Not LeBron, not Kobe, not Steph, not Magic. Only Michael Jordan. That's why this run deserves way more respect. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments, was 1993 MJ at his most impressive? Or do you think another run was tougher? Let me know. And if you liked this format, subscribe, drop a like, and get ready for more deep dives every single week, maybe twice a week. This is Paul. Thanks for rocking with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.